Yo! Video games.
We're going to talk about Fan Four Stick or Fantastic Four, the first steps. So yeah, there was the latest MCU movie. We've had Fantastic Four. We had Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. We had Fan Four Stick, and now we have Fantastic Four. Well, Fantastic Four. Now we have the third reboot, or fourth, depending on how you want to look at the 90s. Fourth reboot of Fantastic Four, fifth if you count Incredibles. And yeah, so this was kind of like the big summer movie for Marvel, you know, to sort of break back. You know, I think they really wanted this to be sort of like maybe their Iron Man 1 moment, or maybe their like original X-Men, or hell, even maybe Spider-Man moment. But yeah, so this was sort of like this was a franchise that was owned by Fox, and they couldn't do anything with it until Disney bought Fox, and now we're getting our first Disney MCU version of Fantastic Four. And you know, I see what they're going for. They were really trying really hard to make this a very family-centered family. It's all about family. Family-centered, really tugging at the heartstrings kind of film. You know, a whole brand new cast, but, you know, beloved actor Pedro Pascal, you know, Vanessa Kirby, who's been in something I've seen before, I'm sure. Ralph Sid from Final Fantasy 16 plays Galactus. Two guys I have no idea who they're from for Johnny Storm and the Thing. Yeah, and yeah, it's on a different Earth. On a different Earth than so if you looked at this thing and like, why is it in the 60s? Like, why is it seem different? How do they explain this away in the MCU? And it's like, well, it's a different universe. So like straight up different universe. I think this was like 828 or something like that. So there you go, different universe. That being said, I think problem falls apart a little bit with the Fantastic Four movie when your main character, Reed Richards, is just so dumb. You know, he's supposed to be, you know, the greatest scientific mind in the world. They treat him like he's both the head of NASA, the president of the United States, you know, the president of Earth. But you know, he makes some insanely dumb decisions. You know, he says some incredibly cold-hearted things, you know, to Sue Storm, who kind of didn't really deserve it. So it's hard to get invested when your main character Richards is just such a dummy. You know, like, oh, they just spent all this time of him, you know, filling out stuff on a chalkboard, but yet he can't figure out the most basic, you know, things to do. When he eventually comes around to doing it, even though it's like the movie foreshadows exactly what he should be doing, and then he's like, you know, after much strife, he's like, oh yeah, I guess I should be doing that. So yeah, it's hard to really get in. The Thing I actually thought was done really well. Johnny Storm is way more toned down, like way more toned down than you might expect from Johnny Storm. Usually he is nowhere near as like playboyish or just sort of hot-headed or anything. He's actually just like he actually is like probably the most straight played character in the movie. And then of course, you know, Sue Storm, who I guess for this movie decided, hey, you know, we're gonna go with the storyline of her first child. I don't know if it's her first child, but like it's a kid. They're having a kid. That's the setup for the movie. The movie starts as like, hey, she's pregnant, like, and you know, they're following along with you know, a comic storyline. But then, you know, you got Reed Richards, and he's just, you know, Richards is just dumb. It's weird. Here's another weird thing too. Here's another really weird thing. So Reed Richards' superpowers is super stretchiness, right? Like he's Stretch Armstrong, you know, he's Plastic Man, he's Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy, as Keeley likes to call him. But no, he barely uses any of his superpowers until the end of the movie. It's so weird and bizarre because Thing is always Thing. Truthfully, he barely uses his powers much in the film at all. But I mean, like, he's always the Thing. You know, he always looks like it. It feels like Johnny and Sue are the only ones who kind of use their powers throughout the film, and like Reed is like, oh, if I need to reach across the room, we're like, you know, that's that light switch or that button is really inconveniently. Let me, okay, turn, like man, all the different ways Richards could be using his superpowers, and he just does it for this thing. It's very hard to take seriously that he's supposed to be like a lead, man. He's going to be like leading the next big, you know, Avengers movie, and he's just how can you lead anything? He can't even lead his family, let alone lead an Avengers team. Like, I can't buy this version of Richards. He's just completely, the way he's written, the way Richards is written, the way Richards is in this movie is just completely inadequate. So I can't. It's hard. It's always there. It's always nagging at the back of your mind of, like, you know, the scientific cheese. And that's the other thing. This movie is weird. Actually, my biggest takeaway from this movie as the credits were rolling, I was like, this was weird. This was really, really weird. It's hard to tell you why it's weird without going into spoilers. But it's weird. Because tonally it starts off, it is cheesy AF. Like the cheesiest ball of cheese ever. And you're like, okay, we're going to get a super cheesy, corny throwback to Silver Age comics. And then it kind of just says, then it drops that. It kind of just drops the cheese angle. And then it tries to go, you know, family drama angle. And then it kind of goes like, you know, okay, let's make some, you know, let's do some energy pillars in the sky. You know, the whole universe is going to get destroyed. I mean, it's Galactus. How much spoilers of a spoiler is it? Galactus wants to eat your planet. We've known this for like, you know, 60 years, okay? Like, Galactus is in it, and then it becomes like he wants to eat your planet. So the tone is just bizarre. Like, you might have even seen it in the trailers. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers for anyone because the movie just came out today. But like, Richards completely flubs a press conference for no reason other than Richards is just a dummy. Like, it's an incredible. There's this incredible moment where you know, it's kind of like, Richards, how, you know, what happened? Is everything going to be okay? I don't know. And he says that in the trailer, so I'm trying not to spoil it. But it's like, the context is worse in the movie than what you see in the trailers. So it's like, man, Richards is so dumb. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, just such a terrible character. I don't really know. I'm not buying it. You know, I'm not buying smartest man in the world can't figure out most obvious solution to problems. And then even when he comes up with the solution he should have come up with, you know, a whole act of the movie ago, he waits until way too late to try to do the thing which he should have been doing already. You know, giving villains time to counter his plan because he was too stupid to think of it, you know, beforehand. So yeah, Richards is this weird thing where it's like, we want to lean more into him as just, he's a dad and he's trying his best and he doesn't always say the best thing, but he's also got stretchy arm powers which we ignore, and then he's stupid. I don't know. It's just, there's something about Richards. Just like, I just gets under my skin. You know, I can't buy the movie. I can't buy it. So all that being said, though, straight up though, how is this movie? It is a film. It is strange. It is strange, tonally strange and weird, and not in a Doctor Strange kind of way. Just sort of weird because they don't really know what they want to do. They don't know if they really want to go for a. They don't know if they want to go for a cheesy over the top tone, or if they don't know if they want to go for a more cinematic, you know, epic. You know, they want to go for an actual, like, oh, do we want to make this like a big, like, you know, a big, huge tentpole epic, or do we want to make it sort of like a cheesy throwback to a bygone era? They don't really know. They seem to like lean in one side at the beginning, and then they kind of drop it, and they kind of don't know where they want to go afterwards. Tonally, it's very boring. I think kids are gonna be very bored with this film because there's there's like a montage at the beginning, and then they don't actually do most of the movie is them doing exposition dialogue, planning, prepping, or sitting in a chair like they're in Star Trek. You know, like, oh, you know, like, do this, you know, like, you know, keep the thrusters going, like, you know, divert all power to auxiliary, da da da. Like, it's bizarre. And then when like the villains are just sit there and tell them their nefarious plans, and they're just sitting there like, it's like, okay, someone just came in and threatened your planet, Richards. Why don't you do something about it? You got stretchy arms, but no, of course. And it's not even really that interesting because I mean, again, without spoilers, it's Galactus. You know what it is. You know what You know who Galactus is. You know what Galactus is doing. He's voiced by Sid from Final Fantasy 16. But he doesn't get enough lines as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it's you get a kind of an action scene at the end, but like there's something again, without going into detailed spoils. One of their main big plans at the end in their big climactic fight is the most Looney Tunes ass thing ever. Like straight Looney Tunes, you know, oh, I'm gonna throw sand in your eyes and then like swap the picnic basket in front of you. And it's I was sitting there mind blown that this was the plan. Like this was your $500 million movie, and your main characters plot to thwart the planet-eating robot guy is to do the most Looney Tunes ass thing in the world to try to trick him. Wow. Like it's very bizarre. But again, you know, this might have been okay if I felt a little bit for the Thing, you know, the Thing fall, you know, and he's got a thing for the one there's a character who the Thing may or may not, you know, be starting a romantic interest in, and that was pretty cute. Johnny's thing is weird like the rest of the movie, and then, you know, Richards just, I don't know, he doesn't deserve to be with someone like Sue Storm, and she makes that pretty clear. So hard to be on board with your main character when he's such a dunderhead, you know, or whatever your preferred term for a dummy is. So yeah, I can't really, like, you know, is it the best? I don't know. I don't see. The thing is, and that's a good question, is how does this compare to the other? Obviously, it's probably better than Fan 4 Stick. I'm sure it is. I didn't see it. Who did? There was the one 20 years ago, which sold pretty well. That got pretty good. Got a lot of people watching it. I don't know if it's better than that. I don't really care. And then there was the Rise of the Silver Surfer. I never saw it. I know people hate it because Galactus is like a cloud in that movie. Luckily we don't have to suffer that same fate. Dude. So yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, it's definitely a better use of a classic Fantastic Four villain than having Doctor Doom come out of a trash truck from the 2005 film. So yeah. So yeah, either way, it's kind of it's just a weird movie, and not a lot of action goes on. And since so much of the movie is about exposition and planning and prepping and planning and prepping, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then this is going to do that, and this is going to work, I swear to God. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, no, plan B. Maybe Sue Storm should have had a little plan B, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, like it's just a weird movie. It's all over the place. And frankly, it was just kind of boring. I definitely wasn't standing up and cheering. I was more just confused over what direction they wanted to go with this movie. It definitely didn't feel like any springboard to anything. And here's one of the big weird ones for me was the movie is called Fantastic Four: The First Steps. The movie starts 4 years into the Fantastic Four having existed, you know, so they're established. They live in this big old the Baxter Building in New York. They montage them going through a bunch of Silver Age villains, and one of them even gets to like come back multiple times throughout the film. So they're super established. We're already to the point where we're on Richards having a kid. So there's this really weird thing where it's like it's the introduction film to the Fantastic Four, and it's 4 years and many villain arcs later into their run. So the movie, it's not like you feel like, oh, I have to play catch up. It's more just kind of like, okay, I guess they're all established and they're all kind of set. I mean, good. I guess it's a weird movie, man. It's just weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't think anyone's going to be really talking about this movie. Like after they see it, they're going to see it and be like, it was a thing. It's certainly, yeah, again, there's no getting up and cheering. There's no, there's never like, the villains aren't even like, oh man, I can't wait to see them get defeated, or oh man, I can't wait to see more of them on screen. Like, they're kind of in that middle ground where they're like, the villains aren't exactly bright, and they're not exactly memorable, and they're not exactly, I mean, I guess they're kind of threatening in the sort of sense that like Galactus eats planets kind of sense, but like, it would have been a lot more interesting if you could have a villain who could, who was written well, who could show Reed Richards, how much smarter he is than Reed, because Richards is definitely not the brightest bulb. He knows how to write equations on a chalkboard real good, but like clearly the MCU is deserving of someone with a higher intellect, than this, because the writers and Richards himself are certainly not up to the challenge here in this movie. But yeah, it's a movie that you're supposed to be emotionally invested in because it's a family and they're having their first kid, and then there's this big threat, and and it's all about the family and protecting the family, and then but I even in the emotionally heart-tugging moments of the film, it's like, I felt more emotionally attached to the Avatar 3 trailer that came before this movie than I did to anything happening in this movie. And that's how unimpressed I am with the main, especially the lead, especially with Richards in this movie. So yeah, that's basically it. Do I think this is gonna save does the MCU need saving? I mean, I think MCU definitely is searching for an identity after Thanos. Is this movie like, the first steps in like, a bold, new, exciting phase? Nah, I feel this feels like another Ant-Man 3, which I also did not watch, but I watched an Ant-Man 2. But yeah, I don't know. It was just it was totally strange, dull, weird film. And yeah, I attribute that a lot to the fact that it's like the movie just jumps in 4 years into their run, and you're like, you're supposed to already love these characters. Now let me give you every reason not to like Richards. So, yeah, huh. But yeah, okay, all right. This is like Fantastic Four might as well have been the film's rating. Maybe a 6 if you're generous, but otherwise it is a Fantastic 4 out of 10. Go see it if you want.